It's been described as a scene straight out of a horror movie. Swarms of flying insects sticking to clothes and hair, along corridors, and even inside homes. From June to August, those living near Pandan Reservoir, located near Jurong, lived this nightmare. They had to battle with midges. Midges are tiny little insects that resemble mosquitoes. These insects were once concentrated only around the reservoir, but heat increased their metabolism, making them active, so much so that they ended up spreading beyond their natural habitat. In this episode, I want to know what other pests the heat will bring. And with climate change on the cards, are we going to be plagued by more unwelcome visitors? It's been 3 months since the outbreak of midges at Teban Gardens. I'm heading there to find out if things have improved. I've arranged to meet a local resident, Shobana Damu. But she's told me to pack some gear before I head over. I see like the bus stops have got netting on them. You know, there's nets around the reservoir. It's Pandan Reservoir behind me. Oh. Okay, this one looks nasty. It's like there's a whole bunch of like midge carcasses. Let's see what else they got around here. You can see like all these like black dots that are like lining the lights. Got my fancy gloves. Okay, it's alive. Man, it's huge. I think I walked into a web or something. Feels like something's tickling me down my neck. You see that? They've lined their house windows with black trash bags and their curtains drawn so everything is dark. And there's another house up ahead. They have installed a blue net in front of their door. That is how freaked out they are by this insect invasion. The walk to Shoba's unit has been somewhat, how should I put it, creepy. It's obvious what the residents have been dealing with.
Hi, come in,
hi,
come
Shoba.
in.
Thank you. Wow, that was quite a
Nice meeting you.
interesting journey getting here. Like, when did it start?
It started somewhere in July.
Has it happened like before?
It has happened, but only a handful number of times over the 30 over years that I'm staying here.
Wow.
Maybe once in 5-6 years.
Oh, quite
This
bad.
time is the worst, the worst.
Like, how bad is bad?
It's really very bad. The midgets comes in hundreds of thousands actually. I've not been opening my windows for the past 2-3 months.
Oh.
And then it just comes in, it settles on the food.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
it just buzzes around your face.
And do they only come in through here or is there other parts of the
Everywhere,
house?
even my kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah, come, you can see.
So they come to your kitchen
Yeah,
too?
and you know, you can see the midgets all over the wall. Maybe you can see one there.
Oh.
And all over, and my sink
Yeah.
will be all, spotted all over.
But what are some of the worst things that happen whenever
The worst
these...
things is when I had some guests here.
Yeah.
We were all sitting down to eat, and the midgets fell on all the rice and curry, and we had to, take it out.
Have you accidentally eaten one before by accident?
I think it has gone into my ears. And
Okay.
some of my neighbors have even said they want to move out.
So what exactly are these insects that have managed to torment an entire estate? Midges are tiny little insects that resemble mosquitoes and usually appear in swarms by the thousands near water bodies like reservoirs. An adult midge can lay approximately 500 eggs that normally take about 3 weeks to mature. But when temperatures rose to an average of 29 degrees Celsius in July, the cycle was cut to just 2 weeks, causing the population to surge 5 times. Midges aren't a new problem. Swarms have appeared at Pandan Reservoir since the late 1970s. But it was the unusual hot temperatures this July that led to the infestation.
With climate change, we will experience more extreme weather, which will have a corresponding response from nature.
Now, midges usually appear near water bodies such as reservoirs and rivers. Now, I live near the Kallang River, and a midge invasion hasn't happened yet, but with rising temperatures that could cause a midge invasion, should I be worried? So I've asked to meet Dr. Sujata Kutty. She's been working with water agency PUB to better understand these insects. Sujata, are midges dangerous in any way?
No, midges are not dangerous in any way. So in their larval stage, they are in underwater.
Yep.
And when they emerge as adults, all they do are swarming to look for mates. So they do not feed as adults, so there is no chance of them actually biting humans or causing any such problems.
So do you foresee that, in future would midges become dangerous after a while?
If you're asking if they'll start biting or something like that, no, they don't have the mouth parts to bite.
Or carry diseases, for example.
Yeah, so because they don't bite, it's not really going to cause any diseases.
So after there were a lot of midges, the residents also noticed that there are a lot of spiders as well.
Right.
And other, like lizards. How does that happen?
I think that's normal because lizards, birds, spiders especially, they all prey on midges. So they're the natural predator for these animals. So when they're increasing in number, you would expect these organisms to also increase. So I don't think that's surprising at all.
From midges to spiders and lizards. Not the kind of critters you want to have at home, but these little guys might start making their presence felt not just in this estate, but in other parts of Singapore. If we are going to see more hotter days with less rain, I wonder if lizards, spiders and midges are all that we need to be worried about. A prolonged spell of hot and dry weather resulted in a boom in the population of midges near Pandan Reservoir. So much so that it made life for residents living in the area almost unbearable. And I found out that the weather is going to get more erratic thanks to climate change. So besides midges, lizards, and spiders, what else will this heat bring? I'm meeting Liao Junchin. I hear he's been fighting a different kind of army at home. Ants.
So they come in from the sides. Then over here, actually, they are all the ants, but yeah, actually they can see some, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see some, you can see some. So I just plaster them.
Oh,
Plaster again.
That's a lot of makeshift plaster he has there, man. So how bad does it get? Because I know that you send me some pictures.
Okay, so this contact lenses box. So you see all the ants inside, they just made their nest inside.
I'm quite curious. I wonder why they actually inside your contact lens box.
Actually, I have no idea also. So actually my plates, most of the time there will be ants. Sometimes it was in the kettle. Then sometimes when I was just pouring out water, how come there are some ants that I take out the water? They are in there.
I wonder if the increase in ants is due to our hot weather. I know just the guy with the answers. Zat Low. He spends his days studying ant colonies and building homes for ants, which he has even turned into an art exhibit. And he's agreed to test out my hypothesis. So Zad, what are we doing here?
So for this experiment, I kept the ants away from any water source for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So now we're experimenting how thirsty are the ants.
Okay. So after a while, by right, they should be gathering around the water.
Yes, after a few minutes, you can see them rushing to the water source.
Wow.
Now you can see they'll start trilling, and they will give off pheromone to alert other nestmates about the water source.
Wow. Yeah, I can like slowly see them like starting to form that trail.
Yeah.
So Singapore's had more hot and dry weather than usual recently. Do you find that's changed the behavior of the ants?
During the drought season, right, the worker ants will go out to forage to look for water source and food. They will appear in your houses and bathroom and all because they are desperately looking for water source. Because in the wild, the prey, the vegetation are very dry, and most prey they are hiding because of the drought.
Turns out, these ants are looking for a water source when it gets too hot outside. I want to know how many more of these bugs I'm at war with as the weather gets hotter and drier. I'm calling some pest companies for answers. Hi.
Yes, can I help you, sir?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about pests. Have the number of cases, have they been increasing as well?
Based on our observation, probably getting a little bit more. Actually, it went up more.
Have the number of cases that you guys attend to, has it been rising as well?
We never keep track of that because there is an increase.
What pests do you find increasing in number?
In Singapore market, mainly we're talking about the 4 vectors.
Cockroaches,
Especially in rodents, we're looking at about 20%. And termite, mosquito.
then mosquito.
The main insect for residents is mosquitoes.
Of the 10 companies I called, all said they're handling about 10 to 15% more cases from about 3 years ago. Infestations usually involve pests such as cockroaches and mosquitoes. I'm starting to worry about the diseases these pests may bring. So I've arranged to meet Kevin Fu, a pest etymologist from one of the pest control companies I called, Rent-A-Kill. If there's a person who deals with a pest problem on a day-to-day basis, it's him. So should I be very worried about all these pests coming into my home in future?
I think you should be worried about the vector pest.
What is the difference between vector and non-vector?
I would like to explain about the vector as the biological carrier of certain diseases, the virus, bacteria, and pathogenic microorganism, which will cause the disease to human being and also other animals. For example, the cockroaches, the mosquito, and the houseflies, all is vectors. The non-vector is insects, but they can only cause nuisance to your home or offices, but they won't carry any types of diseases to the human being.
So which vector carrier should I be concerned about right now?
At this moment, I think will be the mosquito. Since there are a Zika virus outbreak recently, and the dengue as well happened in Singapore.
Dengue cases have been rising in 2019. There's been more than 11,000 reported cases up to August this year. That's nearly double compared to 2017 and 2018 combined. And here's something else I discovered. Some of the months that see the highest temperatures in 2019 also saw a surge in dengue cases. Are we on the brink of a dengue epidemic because of the heat? For some answers, I've arranged to meet Professor Wee Eng Leong. He's the Deputy Director of the Emerging Infectious Diseases Program at Duke NUS Medical School. And he's been studying dengue for over 20 years. Eng Leong, I've found a correlation between our hot and dry weather and the spike in dengue cases over the last year. Now, why does this happen?
Mosquitoes are cold-blooded creatures, and so their body temperature is the same as the environmental temperature. So if the environmental temperature or the ambient temperature is warmer, then the body temperature of the mosquito will be warmer. For the virus, that's great because they need a certain temperature to grow.
Yeah.
So then the virus will take less time to mature in the mosquito, and therefore, for a given lifespan of the mosquito, they spend a larger proportion of it being able to transmit the virus. So then with warmer temperature and given a certain number of mosquito and you have virus, then you have a right brew, right? The mixture is not
that's
optimal for it to spread.
Okay, so it would be right to say that with rising temperatures, there would be more existence of dengue mosquitoes?
Yes and no. The qualification is this, that when the temperature gets too warm,
Yeah.
the mosquitoes will also die. Right? So
Okay.
there's an optimum to this. But with air conditioning, the mosquitoes can also thrive. So as long as the optimal temperature is there, right, or within that range of optimal temperature, then both mosquitoes and virus will thrive.
This optimal temperature for mosquitoes to breed, reproduce, and spread a virus is between 29 and 32 degrees Celsius. And even if outside temperatures go beyond this range, the mosquitoes will be able to experience this optimal temperatures indoors, thanks to the cool air from air conditioners. So the danger level is clear. We need to deal with these pest invasions. But at what cost?
No, when they do the fogging, we have to bring our food stuff and all inside because it's quite toxic to the food and all that.
I understand the enemies I'm fighting. And I also know how we currently plan to stop them. Fogging. Here at Pandan Reservoir, which has been battling with midge infestations, fogging takes place up to twice a day. Fogging is the process of releasing a chemical pesticide into the air. It's usually deployed to get rid of mosquitoes, but in the process, there's collateral damage, as other insects such as dragonflies and butterflies also die. Because the pesticide is poisonous, its use is closely monitored by the National Environment Agency. But despite that, I wonder if people are actually safe around these fogging chemicals. How would you normally react when someone's fogging around your
Probably just close the windows and stay indoors. Not really go outside too much or downstairs.
My wife will close the window. We have ample notice.
Yeah.
Close the window, the rubbish chute.
Okay.
Everything is taken care of.
Since we are a cafe, especially when you do outdoors, we have to bring our food stuff and all inside because after that they give a kind of a stain on the chairs, on the tables. You see.
So you don't notice that there's a stain or
that's right. There's something sticky on it. Can be quite toxic to the food and all that.
It is harmful.
It is harmful.
It is harmful because it can kill the insect. Also can harm your body. Right?
So it seems some are still concerned about the pesticides used during fogging. I'm returning to Rent to Kill to find out just how dangerous these chemicals really are. Ali, are the chemicals that you guys use for fogging poisonous?
Yeah, I would say it's still poisonous, but poisonous to insect itself. But in terms of human itself, because we have dilute them into a certain dilution that human can take it, you see.
Ali says fogging is safe because the poison used is diluted. But I can't help but notice all the precautionary gear these workers have to use. They're covered in face masks, gloves, overcoats, and safety boots. So is there some truth to the concerns brought up by residents? I'm getting to the bottom of this. I've managed to track one of the fogging routes for Pandan Reservoir. And I'm teaming up with a lab to place exposure samplers along the way. These devices will tell me just how harmful it is to be near a fogging session. I've placed them at a bus stop, running track, and near a sidewalk. Some of the more common places where people might be. So what is it exactly we're looking for, in the air?
Okay, the potentially toxic agent which could be involved here was permethrin. So what happens is after I collect these samples, so I will send it to a lab for analysis. We can compare our values and then we can say that if the level here is safe or not.
It will take 2 weeks before I get the results. While waiting, I'm reading up on permethrin. Permethrin is one of the most common chemicals found in pesticides we use at home. In small doses, it only causes mild skin and eye irritation. But at higher doses, it can cause nausea, vomiting, and even seizures. I'm hoping that the lab will be able to reduce my fears of fogging. 2 weeks have passed since I sent the chemicals used for fogging to test if they're dangerous to us. The results are out. So do these results show anything that we should be concerned about?
No, the results were sufficiently low to not have any worry about.
So does this mean that, anyone walking past, are you still considered safe?
Yes. To be on the safer side, it would be more prudent to remain as far as away from the fogging activity as much as possible.
And how about those at home? I mean, is it sufficient for them to just close their windows and doors?
Yes, it would be. They are considered safe if they are able to close the windows.
So I spoke to some pest companies, and they said that fogging activity has increased recently, and it also might go up in future. Is that a cause of concern for us?
The population who might be affected the most is actually the person who's doing the fogging activity.
That's right.
Even with this gas mask, because they are the ones who do the fogging for say 8 hours or 12 hours. So they might be the ones who are more exposed to as compared to a passerby.
So here's what I've learned. The heat messes with our ecosystem, and it's bringing all kinds of pests into my home. So what can we do? Well, I guess we have to cope with these sudden infestations the best that we can.